At the same time, I want to clarify there are many devotees who are serving in Prabhupada's movement now. They did not get any association of Prabhupada. They got association through Vani. So again, don't go to extremes. This doesn't mean that we only look for love, because love is something, even if you get a lot, you still feel you're not got love. False ego is so bad. This is not to expect love from others. These pastimes they are discussing so that we give love. If you expect love, you will be miserable. We should expect love only from Krishna. That longing only has to be with Krishna. Please give me love. When Krishna gives us love, then you can give in this world. Because in this world, if you want to be happy, there are only 6 rules you have to follow. Only then you will be happy in this world. What are the 6 rules? Give, give, give. Forgive, forgive, forgive. You will say, Prabhuji, but if I only do this, I will be happy. But to give, I also have to get. If you are hungry and you are serving prasad morning to night, you will say, I am serving, but I also need prasad. So I am giving love, I am forgiving, giving, forgiving, but I also need love. Okay, if you want love, take from Gopijana, take from Krishna. Only because if we get from Krishna, then when we are giving, people will not expect. And people will see, oh, he's not expecting anything from me. And then they will see you are selfless. And then they will give you a lot of love. And when they give you love, because you didn't expect, you are overwhelmed, you are more happy than earlier because you didn't expect, you gave only. And when you get that love, then you become very happy and you give more. And they feel, he's giving so much more. You are understanding this is a virtuous cycle. So the starting point is Krishna. And Krishna's love we experience through Bhagavatam, study, Guru Puja, Kirtan, holy name. So please don't underestimate, it's not sentimental discussion we are doing. It is all about not expecting love but giving love. But Prabhupada touched people's hearts because he gave love. We have to give love. You know, when I heard all these pastimes, Sarveshwari Mataji, Lilavati Mataji, because I was a young brahmachari, I used to think, oh, women are little, they look for love. I used to think like that. But last 28 years have humbled me. And I realized how everybody needs love. And the best part was, you know, his original Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, how much philosophy he speaks. Cutting. Yes. And Mayavadi will smash. Very strong philosophy he speaks. And of all people, I was shocked when he said, so ISKCON movement needs more than sannyasis, managers, leaders, we need grandmothers. So I said, excuse me, mother, grandmother? He said, yes, in Indian families, grandmothers give love and they have all the time for the children, grandchildren. So I think ISKCON needs grandmothers more than managers and sannyasis and leaders. So then recently I met Maharaj, Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, you spoke this first time in 1993 in one Back to God magazine article. So I said, that was 33 years ago. Do you still subscribe to that? He said, yes, of course. We need grandmothers, more and more grandmothers now. So this is a very important point. It's not simply women who need love or sentimental. Men also, because everybody who is in this trapped in this body is looking for Krishna, and Krishna's love we experience through our social interactions. Some of you are very fortunate if you have parents who have given you this love. Some don't get that in childhood, but then we have Krishna. Somehow we have to give love and receive love. That was Srila Prabhupada's philosophy, and Srila Prabhupada lived by this. He gave this. You know, Srila Prabhupada, then he started ISKCON in 1966 in New York. He used to give classes and he said, New York is a horrible place. This is what he used to say. It smells like dog's stool. Horrible. And one day while giving class, he mentioned, India is so wonderful. And that was the month of June, May, June, July. And Prabhupada said, in India is so nice. At this time of the year, in India we get nice mangoes. America, New York, horrible. You don't even get a mango. This is a class, huh? proper class he is giving. So in the class there were young boys and girls sitting. So there was Steve Guarino, there was Chuck, Bruce, Greg, Wally, all these young boys. So Steve was a little older than everyone. He was 26. Others were like 19, 20. So he was already seen as somebody senior in the group. And Steve had a soft heart. So Steve always wanted to serve Swamiji. That time Srila Prabhupada was called as Swamiji. He wanted to serve Swamiji, make him happy. So he saw, oh, Swamiji likes mango. Swamiji is speaking about mango. I'll get mango for it. So that day he went searching for mango, and like Prabhupada said, Prabhupada knew what we were saying. There are no mangoes, horrible. So Prabhupada knew it, but he was saying, no, I have to get it. So he searched. There were no Indian stores that time. 1965 Indian, not many Indians were there in New York. So he kept searching. After 4 or 5 hours, he finally got one mango. With great joy, to please Swamiji, he brought that mango. Now he didn't tell anyone that I searched for 5 hours. I did all that. But next day I was sitting, morning Prabhupada gave class. After the class, we have this culture, we get up, we meet people. So Prabhupada got up and Steve came in front and gave that mango. And Prabhupada's eyes became big. Oh, mango? And then Prabhupada nodded his head, beamed. He accepted that mango and then with his right hand, he rubbed Steve's hair and said, very good boy. so when Prabhupada said, very good boy, everybody laughed, like you are all smiling. So when they laughed, Prabhupada got confused. Because Prabhupada thought they are laughing means they are joking or something amiss. So then Prabhupada looked at them and he was wondering why they are laughing. Prabhupada thought something wrong has happened. So Prabhupada said, no, why are you laughing? You know what Prabhupada said? Why are you laughing? This is love. These are the exact words Prabhupada. What he meant, that he giving me mango, Prabhupada knew it's not easy to get mango. This boy must have gone long distance. Now, this was one-off incident. Prabhupada was every day preaching, traveling, then he went to San Francisco. Then ISKCON spread like wildfire. Prabhupada was traveling one city to next city. Like there is one journey, if you read, Prabhupada night sleeps at 10 o'clock in Juhu, wakes up at 2:30, takes shower, goes to airport, takes a flight to Singapore, then is waiting for 5 hours. Then from Singapore he takes a flight to Sydney. Then Sydney, basically there is a delay. So he leaves morning, he gets up at 2:30 in the morning. Next day, evening, he reaches Sydney because it's a long travel, craziness. And when he reaches directly, he goes, he gives class in the temple arrival lecture. Then he goes, takes shower, comes back and gives Bhagavad Gita class. Then question answers. Then sleeps at 10:30. Gets up at 3 o'clock, 2:33, and starts his translation as if nothing has happened. And 6 o'clock is down outside the temple hall to go for his morning walk. Everybody was even morning walk. And all the other disciples servants, they are exhausted, nobody's woken up. And he was going, that is what he was. Power packed preaching, traveling, lectures, initiations. And like this ISKCON spread, wildfire, 1976 came. 10-year anniversary of ISKCON. Devotees had made big cake, 10th anniversary. And Prabhupada had that cake in front of him, and all devotees are standing in front of him. And Prabhupada now is global Acharya. 1966, when he started ISKCON, people were amused when he said we are starting International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So there are only 10 people sitting in front in New York. And some old Swamiji is talking about International Society. And now 1976, Prabhupada is global Guru Acharya. And Steve has become Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj. He's controlling whole of, everybody has been given one continent to manage. Not one small center. One continent. Bruce Brahmananda Swami. He went to Pakistan, Bangladesh during war. Big people, Greg, Gargamuni. Wali, Umapati Swami, Chuck Achyutanand Swami, Keith Kirtanand Swami. Everybody's big sannyasi with danda and thousands of devotees are there. And Prabhupada is big global acharya. And Prabhupada is blowing the candles, cake. And Prabhupada looks at the devotees and says, and our Satswarup Maharaj used to get me mango. Devotees are shocked. That one incident, Prabhupada remembers, look at the context where he remembers this. So Satswarup Maharaj writes in his book that I was shocked that one incident, which was a casual Prabhupada. That means he gave love. Prabhupada not only gave love, he received love also. And he noted it because he's connected to Paramatma, because he is in love space. See, only when you're in love space, you remember these kind of exchanges. If you are in the head space, you are in the mode of controlling global acharya, we have to make preaching mission, we have to do this, we have to do that, then you will not remember all these exchanges. You will remember money, temple, donation only. The fact that Prabhupada remembered this incident shows that he was in the love space. He wanted to give love and he wanted to receive love. This is very important, This is how we have to present Srila Prabhupada also. Sometimes when we read Prabhupada's pastimes, we sometimes start getting feeling that Prabhupada was only calling people rascal and doing big temples and projects. No, he was in the love space. I'll tell you, yesterday only, day before yesterday I was hearing Prabhupada's class. I don't know if you have heard this. 1972, Prabhupada gave a series of lectures on nectar of devotion in Vrindavan. They are very famous lectures. October 16 onwards, 1972, Vrindavan Kartik. It's an amazing series of lectures. You feel you have gone to Vrindavan because when you hear those classes, it's outside Rupa Goswami Samadhi. And there you can hear peacocks chirping, you can hear all the birds, early morning classes. And then somebody is walking there shouting, oh, Premanande! You can hear all the Vrindavan. So you feel time, you feel like you've gone on a time machine to Vrindavan. And Prabhupada is speaking about, and those classes are very candid. It's like relaxed, because Prabhupada said, Bombay is my office, Mayapur is place of bhajan, and Vrindavan is home. You will feel Prabhupada is at home. So when you are at home, you are authentic. In those classes, the very first class, Prabhupada is so candid. He says, what to do? I have this mission. So I have to spread. So Prabhupada is acknowledging that because of the mission, you have to push people. But he is in the love space. Because in that one of the points he's saying, laughingly, his boys and girls are so nice, they're trusting me so much. And what to do? I have to push them. I have a mission. He says 3-4 times he says. And then he gives example of one girl, Sharandiya. She told me she wants to marry this boy. There was another boy, Vaikuntha or somebody. So, and she's just 15. She told Prabhupada, I like him, I want to marry him. So Prabhupada is saying all this in the class. So I went and told that Vishnu Lok or something, I forget his name, Vaikuntha or Vishnu. I told him, you are reserved. Okay? So, she's 15. When she becomes 16, I will get her married. So don't go anywhere. He says, yes, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says, and he agreed. So I got them married. Then another girl, very big actor. She was a very famous actress. I told her, I have chosen a boy for you in Japan. Go there and marry him. She never met him. She went there and she married him. So the guests, there are Indian guests also in the club. When one Indian man watches, you can hear. He said, oh, it's not possible. The Prabhupada says, yes, in a Western country it's happening. They love me so much. What to do? This is my mission. Again he says that. So he's like, he knows that he's pushing them because he has an urgent mission. But he's in the love space, he's getting them married. He's saying, there's one girl in the 1966 senior lecture, one girl is in the class, she's saying, Swami Prabhupada, when I go back, will Krishna recognize me? Yes, Krishna will recognize you and he will kiss you also. So that she's not blushing and everybody starts laughing. The Prabhupada is very loving. We have got, some of us have got the facts wrong. He wanted to give love and he gave love abundantly. The way we perceive love. He also gave tough love. There is one conversation with Toynbee, an historian, very famous historian. And he is talking with Prabhupada. And this is 1-2 hour conversation. Generally, when I read conversations in Leelamrita and other places, I see a lot of strong conversations also. But this conversation is totally different than what I imagined it would be. Sure, Prabhupada is appreciating him so much. And they are talking, he's saying, oh, you're from Kolkata, Swamiji. I was born in Kolkata. He was a British royalty, Kolkata, Mumbai, they were all staying that time. So Prabhupada says, oh, where in Kolkata? So he speaks about one lane. And Prabhupada says, oh, I was behind that. Like they're talking about the school. They're talking about all mundane things. What we call. Not mundane, Prabhupada's every word is nectar. I'm just saying he's talking about ordinary social dealings in love space, and Prabhupada is insisting he take prasad, and then finally in the conversation, that historian says, I'm very ignorant, I'm not spiritual like you, Swamiji, Your Highness, I'm not. So he's in a very British accent, he's saying, I don't know much, I'm like ignorant. You know what Prabhupada says? Oh, this is Trinadapi Sunichena. You are practicing humility. Prabhupada calls him Trinadapi Sunichena. I'm worried. Prabhupada could have called him, you are a rascal eating cow meat. Prabhupada could have chastised him. So, point is, Prabhupada gave love. And why, this is important is because we all are vulnerable. If you see now, although we want Krishna, soul wants Krishna, but at the bodily level, we have vulnerable, means we are prone to death, disease, heartbreaks. See, we all have insecurity. And insecurity comes from being vulnerable. We are fallible. So when you are vulnerable, you need somebody to come and hug you and tell you that I love you and don't worry, you are safe. So what happens when we give love? We feel safe in this world. We may not know it consciously and explicitly, but subconsciously we are all living in fear. We all have fear and insecurity. We may not say it. We may say, I'm confident. We show ourselves as brave, confident, but they're all fearful. That fear is there deep. So at such time, somebody comes and gives love, suddenly we become safe. We feel safe. Because in this world, we can't trust anyone. Subconsciously. We are, what I call this as, Krishna consciousness. The opposite of Krishna consciousness, I call Murgi consciousness. Murgi means, Murgi, Hindi? Chicken, hen. So what Murgi does? I said Murgi eating food. How she eats? She's picking up grains from the floor. She keeps looking here and there. You see? Why she keeps looking here and there?
Fear.
Fear. The cat will come and pounce. So when you are taking prasad, do you look like this here and there? No, we confidently. But inside, we are Murgi. Always afraid. Somebody is going to beat me. Somebody is going to unlove me. Somebody is going to. Facebook nowadays, biggest depression is people unfollow. Or they don't reply to your WhatsApp message. Then you get depressed. Always we live in this insecurity. So in that space, when somebody is vulnerable and somebody gives love, then you feel safe. And vulnerability is a truth. And even Srila Prabhupada showed his human side, vulnerable side. Too few intimate devotees. See, Prabhupada was a preacher, lion on chairs and lamp at whom Prabhupada sits. At home, with devotees, he was vulnerable with intimate devotees. And that's why he became more endearing to devotees. Like, Srila Prabhupada was in Rishikesh in May 1977. And suddenly, he was there for recovery, health recovery. And Rishikesh is good weather in May. It's not very hot. Ganga, it's Himalayas. But one day there was a cyclone and Prabhupada's health became very bad. So devotees thought Prabhupada is going to leave his body. So they rushed him from Rishikesh to Vrindavan in car. So when they came to Vrindavan, already the news had come there that Prabhupada is coming to leave his body because he's very sick. So when he came to temple hall, now first he wanted to, so devotees were waiting for it with anxiety. So when Prabhupada came, now he's come from, please understand the context. He's come from Rishikesh to go back to Krishna. So devotees are waiting, they are sad, and Prabhupada enters the temple hall, and all devotees are sitting, and Prabhupada gives a short talk. So devotees are holding him. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, they're all there. Prabhupada says, what is there to lament? This body is a bag of bones. You all will die. Take shelter of Krishna. Read books. We are not the body. We are heavy, strong class. And devotees start crying because they realize that Prabhupada is saying this because he wants to read. And it's true also, philosophy. We are not the body, we are the soul, we will die. All that happened. And thank you very much. Class over. Prabhupada is lifted in the chair, and behind Krishna Balaram temple is Prabhupada's house, Prabhupada's quarters. So as soon as they enter the quarters, there is nobody there. Only 2-3 devotees and Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looks at Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and just drops his strong posture. Prabhupada says, Tamal, please encourage me. You're there in the living, vulnerable. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj glorifies him. And then Prabhupada says, thank you. So then every day, he arranges devotees to come and appreciate Prabhupada and encourage him. So imagine if Prabhupada needed encouragement at that age. The devotees who are your consiglies, your neighbors, your Bhakti Vriksha Sangha members, the other devotees in the temple, how much they will need. Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada was vulnerable even in October, just before leaving this world. If you read Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's book, Last Days of Prabhupada, Servant of Servant, I think. So there, now Prabhupada is sannyasi. Sannyasi means nothing to do with family, especially wife. If you are a grihastha, then taken sannyas, you should never meet your wife again. And Prabhupada never met his wife again. He followed strict sannyas laws. But before leaving the world, he's telling Tamal Krishna Maharaj that at least 15 times you will find in that book. So please keep pension for my wife and my children. Then after a few days again that, so how much pension have you kept? Have you kept? Keep. So he wanted funds to be kept so that every month his wife and children are taken care of. Yes. Not once, if it was once, you can read that. You'll find at least 15 times you'll find references in that conversation. So what does all this mean? This means Prabhupada was vulnerable, he was honest. We say we are spiritual beings with human experience. I say we are human beings with spiritual experience. We can't deny our humanity. We are spiritual beings. That is that reality, the beginning of the class I mentioned. That we have to focus on spiritual reality. Hearing, chanting, because only Krishna can satisfy us. But this reality we cannot ignore. Our humanity, our vulnerability, we cannot ignore. 1977 January, they were all in Bhubaneswar. They are traveling. Srila Prabhupada and his traveling party, they are all traveling. So Prabhupada's diet was different from the devotee's diet. So Prabhupada was falling sick. So Kaushalya Mataji and Palika Mataji, two Matajis, they used to cook, boiled, no spices. And Prabhupada loves to feed prasad and also honor prasad. So Prabhupada wanted, so there was this one Maharaj, this Marwadis are the cooks, they're called as Maharajas. They cook nice prasad. So I forget the name of that person. So he was the Maharaj for all the other devotees to cook nice feast for them. So Prabhupada would call some of his disciples and he would tell him, he would get me that secretly, he would ask him to get that prasad. So these Matajis would get very upset. They were like very possessive, like daughters are concerned for their father's health. So they would come to know, they get upset. And they would make spiceless, non-spicy prasad for Prabhupada. Prabhupada would quietly eat because he knew that, I have to eat this. But then secretly would tell the devotees, "You get me what that Maharaj won't get me that." so then so one day Prabhupada told his Mataji, I'm fed up of this non-spicy prasad. You make spicy. They said, no, Prabhupada, you're not supposed to eat spicy. You're supposed to eat this. This is good for your health. Then Pishima came. Pishima? Srila Prabhupada's sister. He said, and Pishima cooked, very spicy bangan fry and puri. And Prabhupada enjoyed it. And Prabhupada was satisfied. But it was not agreeable with his system. Again, he felt sick. So again, the Mataji made non-spicy. Prabhupada ate, but Prabhupada was not happy. So then Prabhupada called the sannyasis, different disciples are sitting, men were sitting with him in the room. Prabhupada said, you get me that Maharaj's person. Then Prabhupada did it. And the Matajis came to know. And Prabhupada said, don't tell them. don't tell them. So then they laughed. When they laughed, the Matajis in the kitchen, they understood that Prabhupada is eating, or they are laughing at our expense. So they came outside. They said, Prabhupada, you're not supposed to eat this. This is not good for your health. You will fall sick. Why don't you understand? They were like very intense. And Prabhupada is eating. And everybody looking at Prabhupada now. He has to answer. And Prabhupada said, the prasad you give me has no spice. And no spice means no taste. And no taste means no life. And no life means what is the use? Prabhupada said, what is the use? So better eat this prasad. All glories to Prabhupada mentioned that Prabhupada's name. And all glories to his cooking. And then everybody laughed, and even the Matajis laughed. Because that was very human, very vulnerable, appreciating nice prasad. So generally, when I once spoke this past time, one devotee couldn't stop his ecstasy. He shouted loudly, "Maa prasad ki jai." I was talking about the principle here is being human, being vulnerable, being authentic. And in that space, you can actually give love. If you act as a pure devotee, you cannot give love. Pure devotee gives love because he is vulnerable. Not because he is human. Because he has taken up this body. Even Krishna is vulnerable. I was hearing my Guru Maharaj's class yesterday, Kaliya pastime. He is saying Krishna was so vulnerable. He was caught in the coils of Kaliya. And seeing the vulnerable condition, Yashoda Mai and everybody's love became more. And then Guru Maharaj went on a detailed explanation about how when God is vulnerable, what happens. He spoke about Ram crying for Sita, looking for her everywhere. And Maharaj said, because of that, Hanuman's service became extraordinary. He wanted to serve. Oh, my Lord is crying. So then Maharaj gave example of Mother Sita, how she was vulnerable. So vulnerability is not a weakness. It is not even a strength. It is what it is. We are all vulnerable. We are all subject to uncertainty. So when we accept that uncertainty without fighting it, yes, I'm sad now, cry. I'm happy. So we have to tolerate. See, we have to transcend this, definitely. But that journey begins first with authenticity and acceptance. We can't avoid that. As Srila Prabhupada, he was not in the space of missionary. He was always in the space of love. And that's why, if you see, there is one book by Satsvarup Maharaj. It's called I Am Never Displeased with Any Member. That's the title of the book. So there's one letter Prabhupada writes, because Satsvarup Maharaj and devotees could not achieve some of the targets that Prabhupada had given. In that letter, Prabhupada is saying, I am never displeased with any member of this family. So he made that one line of that letter as a title of the book. And there he writes so many things. How Prabhupada, when his wife, because for earlier Grihastha, so his wife Jadurani Mataji had, some illness. So Prabhupada would write detailed letters about, okay, she should take a nimbu mixed with haldi, some medicine. And you talk about, okay, take milk, don't stop your painting work, go chant extra rounds and just relax. Prabhupada encouraging is, we don't read these letters. We read about how Prabhupada said, okay, make 10 temples, distribute, double the book distribution. This we read and hear many times, but we don't read these pastimes. This is also there. See, Prabhupada's Veda base is a Kalpavriksha. What you want, you will get. If you want to eat Prabhupada calling rascal, you will get that also. That is also love only, of course. But, like Ahegriva Prabhu was translating, he was transcribing Prabhupada's words, Bhagavatam, typing. So the typewriter was kept, he pushed the typewriter with his feet. So Prabhupada came to the room and he saw him pushing the typewriter slightly with his feet. It's a machine, right? Prabhupada said, no, you can't do that. This is being used for Krishna's service. So even if Prabhupada is caring for an inanimate object of his rendering service to Krishna, how much another human being devotee, how can we kick him? How can we push him? If a machine is treated like that. So like that, so the point is being vulnerable, being genuine is very, very important. And philosophy is important, but I've seen some of the most influential devotees. Ultimately, they are vulnerable, and they, in this space, when they act and they give love, people's hearts are touched. I saw one live demonstration of this in Chowpatty Temple. There was one boy. We have a few minutes now.
Yes.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. 9:15. There was one boy who was coming. His name was Chinmay. First time he came, Shubhilas Guru preached to him. He started chanting, and somehow I was concerned for this boy. I said, "Don't tell your father anything now," because in those days, when these children get enthusiastic, they go home. The parents get scared that these people will become brahmacharis. So I told him, "Don't tell your father, please. He'll not understand." Because the boy was enthusiastic. He started chanting beats, etc. Don't tell at home. And he did exactly opposite. And he told at his home. Oh, what he did. So basically, I didn't see him for a few days. So I thought he told at his home, and his parents have stopped. After a few days, when he came, he said, "I told Prabhuji, I told my father, and my father is very concerned." He said, "Son, wait, I'm coming." His father was out of Bombay. So I said, "I'm coming Bombay next week. I want to talk to you something very important." So, Prabhuji, so my father is said he's coming. So that's why I could not come, and he said, "Wait, I want to tell something." So I thought he's upset with me. But Prabhuji, so I as you were saying that, I thought, okay, no, father is upset that his son went to ISKCON. Because he called his father and said, "Papa, I went to ISKCON, I started chanting Hare Krishna." So his father said, "Oh, wait, I'm coming. I want to talk to you something very important." And he hung up. So this son he's telling me all this, and I'm thinking, oh, his father must have come and chastised him. But what happened? He's saying, "Prabhuji," then he smiled. But my father came, and you know what he said? He took me to the attic in the house and he showed me one trunk. And there was Krishna book of 1978 edition. Bhagavad Gita 1978 edition and one bead bag, old bead bag. And my father had tears in his eyes. He said, "Son, I'm so happy you're going to ISKCON. Because when I was a young boy, I was doing my master's in Boston. I had gone to America to study. And I was there. And I was attached to ISKCON that time. And there was a nice brahmachari, sweet, beautiful, tall brahmachari. His name was Niranjan Das. He was so nice to me. He used to come in his cycle to my university. He used to give me cake. He used to get Mahaprasad. When I went to temple, he used to feed me so much Mahaprasad. And then he also told me to chant. So how could I say no to him? So I chanted 16 rounds to make him happy. And then I got so much love. He's such a nice brahmachari. He was so loving. I can never forgotten him. His Chinmay's father, Chetan Kanakia, is telling his son about Niranjan Das Brahmachari, whom he met in 1978, and this is saying in 2013. How many years have passed? 35 years later, he's recalling all this with great happiness. And he's saying, but what happened after my MS, I had to come to India. So chanting was not so strong. Then I got married to your mother and fell in Maya. So he's telling all that it's gone bingo, So, and this boy is very new and he's telling me all this. That is what my father is saying. And the father at tears, he said, son, you are very good. You should keep going to ISKCON. You chant. I could not do it. I am rascal. But you should continue. So, Prabhu, you said, don't tell your father. Good, no, I told my father. And I got super excited because this Niranjan Das has now become and Niranjan Swami Maharaj was staying in Chowpatty Temple that time. And he was scheduled to give Prerana Youth Festival lecture after 2 days. So I told him, let us surprise your father. Don't tell him anything about Niranjan Das Brahmachari. Because now he's a big sannyasi with thousands of disciples, he's a big leader. Just tell him there is a youth festival and you are a special guest. So we'll give a special invitation pass, VIP pass. So he came. So his father didn't know anything. His father was thinking, oh, my son is going to ISKCON and I've been called a special guest. So he's sitting there and I'm watching, I'm one of the organizers, youth preaching, I was HOD, adult department. Maharaj is going to enter and I wanted to look at Chetan Kanakya's face. So when Maharaj entered, he could see all the different emotions. I didn't have, in those days we didn't have smartphone. If I had, I would have. So then Maharaj came and Maharaj giving class, amazing class. And the whole class is smiling, eyes are moist, he's so grateful. It was like a chataka bird taking everything. And after the class, Maharaj led a rousing kirtan. After the kirtan, in India, we have this culture, we get up, the people come. So everybody surrounded Maharaj. And Mr. Kanakya is running. He's like literally from there, he wants to come close to Maharaj. And he's behind all the boys. Maharaj is talking to all the boys. And he's like, Swamiji, Swamiji. And Maharaj is looking at everyone. Maharaj looks at him. And Maharaj froze. Oh. Maharaj says, Boston? Maharaj remembered Boston. When Maharaj said Boston, that man started crying. And then Maharaj, everybody, the whole thing froze. Everybody, there was pause button. Maharaj kept looking at him. After he said Boston, after a few seconds, Maharaj said, Chetan? So after 35 years, Maharaj, first he said Boston, he started crying. When Maharaj said Chetan, he started wailing. You know what is wailing? Yes. Wailing is crying multiplied by 10x. And I've never seen a man. I've seen a mother wail, but I've never seen a man cry like the way this man was crying. It was like, wow. He must have really going through some intense emotions. Then Maharaj embraced him, held his hand, showed him some painting. They spoke something for a few minutes. And then Maharaj is a sadhu, sannyasi, not attached to any house, home. He went on. Sannyasis keep chanting, giving Krishna. Musafir yaro na ghar hai na tikana, chalte jana hai. Fine. Maharaj went, and this man he told me, I'm going to start chanting 32 rounds every day. He started chanting 32 rounds to make up for all the lost years. So this is amazing. So this small interactions, the giving cake, prasad, we don't know how it impacts somebody. What? Like when I was a brahmachari, I remember Gaurang Prabhu, we all know him as a great manager and powerful. He snapped his fingers. Stoka Krishna Prabhu was a brahmachari in our ashram. Very shy, gentle, soft-hearted, sweet. And hey Stoka! And Gaurang Prabhu's kurta would be torn, button would be torn. You would remove his kurta, make it into a ball and throw it. Hey Stoka! I want it by tomorrow evening. And so Krishna Prabhu would love to do stitching seva. Extra seva. Nobody gave him that seva. Out of love, he would make. And the next day evening, Gaurav, hey, shirt, kurta, put it hang. Hey, lazy fellow. We would joke with him and we would hit him on the back. They were good friends, but I always saw Gaurav Prabhu as in command, in charge. His love language was seva. But he's also vulnerable. Like you are vulnerable, I am vulnerable, we are all vulnerable. We all are human. So then time passed And so Krishna Prabhu left the ashram, he became Grahastha, then his wife was pregnant, and when just because she was about to give birth to a child, so Krishna Prabhu was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And we were all in denial initially, and then reality dawned on us. So we stayed in the temple room, guest room. We were chanting because he's our brahmachari. And his wife just gave birth to a baby, and a few days after the child was born, he passed away. But it's how much pain he must have gone through. Anyway, we were all chanting. So last days, my service was to read Bhagavatam for him, so that he remembers Krishna as he is living this world. And I saw Gauranga Prabhu enter the room, and he's arguing with Dwarkadish Prabhu, the main doctor. He's saying, "Yes, Toka bach jayega." And Dwarkadish Prabhu said, "Gauranga Prabhu, he's in the last stage of cancer, and not only last stage, like anytime in the next 48 hours." Gauranga Prabhu, I've never seen him like that, illogical. No, kuch to hoga, Prabhuji, kuch to hoga. There has to be some way, He's talking about different treatment, different alternatives. He's like, that desperation, I was like, he's human after all. That is love. Only a human can see. Pure devotee's love is another level. You cannot fathom it. Here, Gauranga is arguing with him about, he's arguing illogically with Dwarkadish Prabhu about how Stoka can be revived. Okay. Everybody knows he's living. It was completely love space. And then Gauranga Prabhu became restless. He saw I'm reading Bhagavatam. Kya kar raha hai again? I said, Bhagavatam padha. And so Krishna Prabhu is on pipes, wires. He's gasping for breath because he's giving morphine. He's in pain. And he's last days. So Gauranga Prabhu said, Chamai padha. He wanted to basically handle his emotions because it is intense. So he took the Bhagavatam from me. He sat and he started reading those sections. Gauranga Prabhu's voice, as he started reading, so Krishna Prabhu is on the bed. He suddenly heard that voice because it is recognized because his old friend, right? And he looked from the corner of his eye and his hand started moving like this, like this. He started shaking, doing like this. And Gauranga Prabhu was looking at me, "Hey, kya ho gaya isko?" I said, "Ek minute, he's saying something." So then I saw and looked at Gauranga Prabhu, and so Krishna Prabhu was doing like this. And I said, Gauranga Prabhu, aapka kurta dekho, button was stone. So Krishna Prabhu was saying, basically, give kurta, I was doing like this. I want to stitch. So then I said, Prabhu, aapko kurta mang raha hai wo, usko stitch karne ka. And when I said this, so Krishna Prabhu kind of acknowledged that I was right. I was spot on. I had understood what was the situation. I said, Prabhuji, aapka kurta mang raha hai wo, usko stitch karne. And then so Krishna Prabhu was like, yes. Again he did. Give your kurta, I will stitch. Tomorrow I will give you back. Like that he's doing. Just before dying, leaving this world, this is the communication they're having. And Gauranga completely broke down that moment. So I saw this, I said, wow. When he was in the ashram, every day I used to see, because my locker, so Krishna Prabhu's locker, Gauranga locker. Every day running around, shouting at each other, getting things done, eating prasad. But small exchanges of some stitching kurta for someone, I didn't realize at that time that this would mean so much during death. So we many times underestimate the importance of being vulnerable, human, and having simple, loving exchanges, along with discussing philosophy and chanting. Both are needed. So that when relationship becomes sour, we have Krishna. And to taste Krishna better, we need loving relationship. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Thank you. I went on. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone comment or question? It's late. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Now you can say loudly.
Yeah.
I'll repeat the question on the microphone.
So, because I was trying to put two things together. In the beginning, you mentioned that we should seek love from Krishna and just give to others.
We should seek love from Krishna and give to others.
Not expecting from others.
Not expecting from others.
And the second part was everybody needs encouragement.
Yes.
Acknowledgement or something. So how to put those two things together?
You are saying how to put two things together. One is take from Krishna, and also everybody needs encouragement and love. So again, I repeat what I said in the beginning. Everybody needs encouragement and love. So we give love to everybody else. And our quota of love we take from Krishna. But even Prabhupada said, please encourage me in that pastime. So we also, basically you are saying, I also need love and encouragement from other human beings. So what helps is few things. One is be honest. Like I was saying day before yesterday here only, I think, that I was assisting one devotee in that book writing, and he was busy. He could not acknowledge what I was doing. So I called him and said, Prabhu, I'm feeling discouraged. And because Vaishnavas are sensitive, he dropped everything and he came and he appreciated me. And I felt relieved. Instead of keeping it in the mind, open communication helps. Honest, authentic, non-violent communication helps. So I realized that to get encouragement and love, we need to practice compassionate communication. For more details, you can read Veer Krishna Goswami Maharaj's book called Compassionate Communication, which is based on Marshall Rosenberg's book called Nonviolent Communication. So that book teaches us how to communicate in a way that others don't get offended, and we also get the love or whatever we need. Otherwise, we keep imagining and speculating. So this is one way, honest, open communication. Second, hang around or have relationships with devotees who are of equal, same mindset, same cultural. It helps to get love, appreciation from people who have, we get along with some people better than others without disrespecting others. We need to have some close friendships. So these are two things which really help. And third, most important, we have to keep going back to Krishna. Like once my Guru Maharaj sitting on class, sometimes it takes 5 years, 10 years, 40 years to get close friends. He said like that in one class. So it's not easy to get heart-to-heart relationships in this material world. If you get, it's great. If you don't get, wait. Keep serving Krishna, serving devotees, and giving. Prabhupada, he was completely detached from material world. There in New York, he writes this letter to his friend, there is danger everywhere. There was a sniper was shooting. Crazy place, Prabhupada saying that there is danger everywhere, but I don't feel any danger. I feel every place is my home. Because he was with Krishna. We have to be with Krishna, Prabhupada. But then it should not become hard-hearted, so we need to go be vulnerable, be authentic. See, how do we meet each other? Okay. How do we interact socially with each other? How are you? I'm fine, great. How's life? Great. We are cheating each other. Life is not great, I'm suffering. Imagine we meet each other and say, Prabhu, I'm suffering like this. 1, 2, 3. How are you suffering? So again, now don't put other issues. Not that you go and tell all the problems we have to everybody. No, that's not the point. Be vulnerable at least. At least don't tell details to everyone, but be Prabhu, I'm suffering, struggling. Like my very dear friend Ananda Prabhu. Whenever you ask him who are you, he says, I'm suffering, but I'm enjoying. He's not taking the detail of how he's suffering, but life is tough. Be vulnerable. Yeah. So that authenticity is needed. Then you get good relationships. Like talking about Ananda Prabhu, he's such a tough man, always chanting 192 rounds, 64 rounds. Hurry, go, hurry now, go back about it. Go back about it. Material world is nonsense. Very heavy class, strong class, but he's so human. I told him once, Prabhu, you're 60 now, give up everything. Go to Vrindavan, you have enough money. Take one of the stuff. Chant Hare Krishna in one corner in Vrindavan. Right? That's what you should tell them. So much he has spoken about back to Godhead. And Krishna said, now you are 60. Give up everything, go to Vrindavan and chant Hare Krishna. Why do you? You know what he did? Very sheepishly smiled. Hey, Bihari, can sometimes also follow Hindi? No?
Yes.
My brother doesn't follow. I'll say in English. He said in Hindi, but Hindi it was sweet. In English, what he translates, he said, it's very, what to do. Sometimes I get this back pain and all that. My wife, Tulsi, the wife's name is Tulsi. She makes very nice kada, hot kada. See, to go to Vrindavan, who give me that kada? I said, wow. So he's honest. And then I remember in one of his classes, I said, all the men were chanting 64 rounds. Women were also chanting, but some of the women were getting prasad for all these people. So I said, so these Matajis did not chant 64 rounds, but they will get the same credit because they were serving those who are chanting 64 rounds. But he got upset. No, they will get more credit. Because he knows how much they have sacrificed for their happiness. So spontaneously came out of his mouth. No, they get more credit, Prabhuji. I said, that is true. So the point I'm saying is, being vulnerable, being human is not a sin. We can practice pure bhakti. So you can confess, Prabhuji, I'm not feeling love. And you can express. And then you may get a feedback. Prabhu, we're already getting so much love. Be grateful. Be ready to take that also. Because love, false ego is very deadly, by the way. False ego is so deadly that even if you get a lot of love, you think, I'm not getting love. So in ISKCON, we get prasad, right? We get prasad. You worry about it so much, prasad. You get prasad. Similarly, love you will get plenty in ISKCON. But sometimes we get sauce, we get the other aspect of it. That is Krishna's love also. If you chant sincerely, you will hear Krishna tell you, I love you, but you will also hear Krishna tell you, you are an asshole. So my understanding is, we should honestly reveal our heart, but if you don't get, be like Prabhupada, learn like Prabhupada, be detached, move on, come to Krishna. So that I can read that bhajan, I'll end with this. Vrindavan bhajan 1954, Prabhupada wrote about how there is no love in this world. It's all family had left him, yet nothing. So he could complete shelter of Krishna. He writes in that bhajan, where is my family? Where is my parents? They gave me so much love when I was a child. Where are they now? It's all names. Everybody is gone. So he's expressing his pain and he's saying, I'm crying in this wilderness, but I'm also laughing at the way this samsara is created. So this kind of deep introspection prayer is needed to understand that there is no love in this world. But that doesn't mean you go to the other extreme and become hard-hearted. We become vulnerable. And this is a journey problem. We need to learn, we express our desire. If you get it, we are grateful. If you don't get it, we continue. Shall we stop here? Okay. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.